What do you think of when you hear the word war? Is it this? Or maybe this? Well, there's a different type of war you may have heard a lot about recently.
Trade war worries igniting.
Is the trade war back on?
Trade war.
Trade war, full-blown trade war.
The weapons in a trade war are everywhere.
Background of trade war between China and America, there is four factors. The first one, it began after Donald Trump announced the plans to impose a tariff on March 22, 2018 of US $50 billion for China's goods under the 1974 Trade Act Section 301, citing historical unfair trade practices and theft of intellectual property. The second one, in retaliation, on 2nd April 2018, China imposed tariff for more than 128 US products, including soybeans, to export to China. The third one, the next day, USTR published a list of more than 1,300 categories of import China's goods worth $50 billion that were planned to be the subjects of tariff, including aircraft parts, batteries, flat-screen televisions, medical equipment, satellites, and weapons. The last one, in retaliation, China imposed an additional 25% tariff for plants, car, and soybean.
Trade war has significantly weakened the global economy. According to a model-based assessment by the Bank of Finland, the tariff increase that is currently taking place will slow the global GDP growth by around 0.7 of a percentage point. The trade dispute has already diminished the trade flows between the United States and China. Not only that, trade war did not only affect US and China, but also other countries that have a close relationship with both of them, such as Germany, South Korea, Argentina, Vietnam, etc. This could lead to a global economic crisis no matter who would win the trade war.
The impact of trade wars between the United States and China is a risk for the global economy. On a global level, these commercial wars can also foster the economic fabric of the world. The impact would be very negative on the world economy. It could at least impact world economic growth by 0.8%, while the objective of the International Monetary Fund or IMF was 3.9% of world economic growth. The price of trade war was only about 3.1%.
As soon as it triggers in 2018, the commercial conflict has generated negative comments and forecasts. Tariff increases would harm the US economy, and technological decoupling would penalize high-tech businesses in the United States. China, the factory of the world, appeared for many as irrepressible, with a quasi-consensus on the benefits generated for the rest of the world, without loss of unemployment. However, a first study published in 2016 highlighted this loss in the United States, just as in practice. Chinese restrictions on capital export and slowdown in imports have preserved China of a financial crisis that could have caused the sudden deficit of the balance of accounts. An overall surplus of $1 billion manufactured goods, but the surplus is less turned toward the United States. Customs tariffs will have a negative impact on both the US and global economy by undermining business confidence and investment and disrupting supply chains, while increasing costs for producers and consumers. The United States cannot afford to exclude China from the entire industrial chain. So, does this conflict have an impact on the world economy? Yes, to believe the forecast of international organizations.
At the end of the trade war, the US and China agreed to negotiate in certain areas. President Donald Trump signed a trade agreement on Wednesday, 15 January 2020 with China, which is expected to increase export from U.S. farmers and producers and aims to reduce tension in trade disputes that have slowed global growth, hurt American producers, and weighed on the Chinese economy as a result of long-term disputes between these economic forces.